Hey y'all, what's going on? Sunday was a little bit busy for me. My son-in-law was only able to help for a few hours, so trying to run eliminations on 2 different bikes was pretty busy. I didn't have time really to shoot any footage. Actually, I couldn't shoot any footage while I was riding the bike, so didn't have anybody there to shoot any footage. Learned a few things on the Sportster. I had 2 decent time runs without any shifting issues. Something I'd done when I got to the track, I was talking to a fellow next to me. I don't remember his name, but he'd been racing Harleys for decades, and he suggested that I move the switching valve on the air shifter and actually mount it straight to the shift cylinder itself. What I was able to do there was actually, I had enough airline. I cut about 6 inches out of it, and I got 2 clean passes out of it, both my time runs, my time trials. So the bike went a 7:52. Now both of my time runs, I had a 1:83 60 foot. The first pass, it went a 7:52. The second pass, it went a 7:59. I lost. Let me see if I can look at the tickets here real quick, see if I got this right. I want to make sure I'm telling you all right. I don't know about y'all, but I like to keep a log book here. Sorry for the tripod bouncing around. The trailer's not hooked to the van, so it's not real stable. Okay. So the first pass, it went a 7:52 at 93. Second pass, it went a 7:59 at 92. That second pass was at 1:45 p.m. This race, the elimination started at 3 p.m. So the bagger shootout class that I entered this bike in never really materialized because there was only 2 of us that showed up, so there wasn't going to be any kind of a payout, so they gave us part of our money back. You can look at that however many ways you want. I didn't win anything. The other guy, I guarantee you, would have beat me. So he had I want to say it was an 01 Road King with a 124 motor and a pretty beefy nitrous system. It was stretched out, done deal, which is what the bagger shootout is, those kind of bikes. And I didn't have any expectations, honestly. I just wanted to get a little bit of pro tree practice, so I entered that race, but it never materialized. So best case scenario, I would have got runner-up if they would have ran us. So anyway, onto the Sportster. It was about 3:30 when I raced the first round of eliminations, and I got so I was running a gentleman on a Sportster S. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. That's I guess the newest Sportster before Harley discontinued the whole thing altogether. It would have been a fairly even pairing. I actually beat myself on this run, and I'll tell you why. Keep in mind the first 2 runs I was at 93 mile per hour, 92 mile per hour. I don't know if the weather turned between 1:45 and 3:30 as far as the temperature or humidity or anything. I don't have a weather station yet, but that round, or that first round, I treated the guy. I had a hell of a light on him. Apparently I didn't see, because I'm focused on what I'm doing. He had a wheelie situation. Actually, both of us did. Both of us did. So I rode out. It picked the front wheel up, I'm guessing anywhere between 6 inches and a foot. Carried it. I actually tripped the 60-foot clock with the back tire, got a 176 short time. When I tried to go into third gear, again, that little gremlin that's been bugging me came back 2 or 3 times of me trying to get that thing in third gear. I finally got it in third gear. I was worried that this guy was going to catch me, but I was going to run slow. I had dialed to 755, which was right in the middle of those 2 numbers I ran. And damn if that bike did not run. I didn't want to let off because I thought for sure the guy was going to get me because of my transmission problem. Damn if I didn't break out. I went a 749 at 86 mile an hour. So God only knows if that transmission would have acted right, what kind of a pass I would have been on. But I beat myself. Again, I didn't hear him or see him out of my peripheral coming, so I don't know if he would have caught me or not. I just didn't want to let out because I was afraid I couldn't run my number because of that transmission issue. And I'm going to stop calling it a transmission issue because you guys have seen this transmission. You've seen all these parts. I think it's an air shifter problem because, well, I set this thing up like it was a sport bike, like it was a crotch rocket, a Japanese bike. It's got the smaller air cylinder, like a sport bike. So what I'm going to do to get ready for Rockingham for the AHDRA race, excuse me, I'm going to relocate the switching valve, mount it right directly to the cylinder. So the air is right there at the cylinder. I'm going to go in that MPS kill box, and I'm going to bump up that that shift kill time a little bit, and it's in milliseconds. So I'm going to add some kill time to it. Honestly, it's got to be in that air shifter. It's just, it can't be that it's not the transmission. It made 2 perfect passes with 125 psi air pressure, and you can manually shift it through the gears coming up the return road. It's fine. It shifts smooth. It's beautiful. So I've got a air shifter problem, not a transmission problem. I'm going to try to sort that out, but yeah, it's cutting pretty good lights, actually. Well, when you say good, when I say good, considering I haven't took a tree in 13 years, and I've got 7, 8, 9 passes under my, 10, 11, counting this bike, 12 passes under my belt. I got a pair of 020s on a full tree, and on the pro tree, I'm right in the same place. So not great, but not bad. I still consider that late, but when you're hand launching a no bar bike, I mean, it's going to take me a little bit of time to get back down to where I used to be, but I can't think of anything else. I may, I don't know. I may go ahead and do a video when I start modifying, or whatever you want to call it, do these changes on this air shifter and all this other stuff. I believe I will, to explain all that stuff and why I'm doing it. As far as the Road Glide goes, that Pure Street class it interests me, but by the time I buy an engine kit and camshafts, are going to be, to make the engine competitive, is going to be $5,000 to $6,000 for all that. To put a clutch basket, I don't even know how much they cost. To get rid of the compensator and put like one of those Man of War motor sprockets in it, I don't know how much those are either, but they're very expensive. That's probably $2,000 or $3,000. Chain, conversion kit for this bike right here, $900 from A1 Cycles, $900 for a chain drive conversion for this bike. So I'm gonna piss around and spend $10,000 on this thing, which I'm making payments on, and I go doing all that shit, and Harley's not going to honor any extended service plan on it. So I think I'm gonna just leave this live for now. I'm going to, that way I don't get sidetracked, I'm gonna continue focusing on that pro non-bagger build with the other Sportster. I took took the steering stem, pressed it out of the triple tree. I've got it, I'm actually getting it turned, the diameter turned down a little bit to fit those two old flywheel bearings that I had sitting around. So I'm gonna test fit that. It's taken 9 thousandths off that large fine thread. So that's gonna compromise the holding ability of those threads, but I'm not worried about it, because once I get the bearings in and I can screw that nut on there and secure the tree, when I put the top triple clamp on, I'm gonna just measure that and have a spacer made to capture that with that top nut on top of the triple tree, and it'll be secured, it won't go anywhere. But it's gonna be a fairly easy fit to get that front end on that Sportster. The one thing that I'm gonna have to do is Charlie, I'm gonna have to drill and tap the lower triple tree to put some stops on it, to steering stops. I did manage to get an old fiberglass KZ 1000 extended tailpiece with a upholstered seat and all that on it. So I'm going to use that for the tail on it. Some of the things that I've been like researching, trying to figure out, I'm going to fabricate or buy some kind of a oil tank to take the place of that stock one. I just got to figure out a few oil line routing things and all that stuff. All those lines will be AM fittings, the steel braided lines. This thing's going to be clean. It's going to be a really nice bike. I got to build make a fuel cell for it. I believe you're watching out there, make sure you let me know. The one that suggested using aluminum round pipe to make a fuel cell, which I can do that. We have done stuff like that years before, and you know, in the old KZs, I used to have it wasn't even that big. It only held enough gas for one run. But I want to somehow be able to put fuel in this thing without taking the tank shell off. So my intention is to use a couple or some Zeus fasteners and fasten a fiberglass tank shell on the bike. But I want the filler neck of that cell coming up through that thing, so I don't have to take shit apart. I just unscrew the cap, put some fuel in it, turn it back off, and go. That way, between runs, I don't have all that mess going on. I bought I did purchase a lithium-ion battery for this Sportster, clearly because it weighs 10 pounds less than a stock one. The problem with that was that they got the terminals backwards. So I wasn't able to actually get it in this bike because the cables wouldn't reach. And so I'm going to use that battery on the pro bike. I'm going to mount it down in the swing arm, down real low. I'm going to mount that oil tank as low as I can get away with. And I've got to figure out a way to keep this bike around 400 pounds. I haven't showed you guys yet. I bought some GSXR 1000 wheels for it earlier, like 01 wheels for it. Those aren't exactly the lightest wheels out there, but they're certainly a lot lighter than anything Harley Davidson made. I'm going to start with those wheels. I'm going to put the worldwide ceramic wheel bearings in it for the rolling resistance. Those things are pretty pricey, but they're worth it. what I'd like to do is get eventually buy a set of Marvick magnesium wheels. I considered the BSTs, but I'm a little nervous about the carbon fiber. I just don't see how that plays out, getting tires changed out, putting it in a wheel chalk. You know, any bad thing could happen to those wheels, and they're very expensive. And I'm afraid if I chipped one of them, I would be too afraid to use it anymore. So I don't think I'm gonna go that route. I think I'm gonna try to go with the magnesium wheels. Getting ahead of myself with this deal here. I'll have a video put together on that here real soon. I just got a lot of ideas in my head what I need to do. I've got a couple different directions on the engine. I've talked to Hammer Performance. I've also talked to Chad at what's the XLXB horsepower. He's doing a package where he puts twin cam Screaming Eagle 110 heads on a Sportster, 90 cubic inch. I don't. The only problem I got with that is that particular guy doesn't do any bottom end work where Hammer does. It's a full service shop. So I have to send my cases and flywheels to Hammer, have them bored out to accept a 90-inch cylinders, have him mill out the cam chest to make clearance for those big high lift cams. And actually he would send my flywheels to Dark Horse, to be lightened, knife edged, balanced, trued, welded with Corilla rods. So I'm gonna have probably about $3,000 bill at Hammer just to do the bottom end, and I would have him assemble the flywheels in the cases and to make sure that all the bearing clearances are correct and everything, because I have tools to take them apart, put them together, but I don't really have the means. I probably could. I just it's kind of nerve-wracking. You guys, if you've had these bottom ends apart, if you don't get them just right. But anyway, so that, you know, I'm looking at $3,000 there to just complete a bottom end. No transmission, of course. That's a whole nother can of worms, that I have to buy a good, decent stock transmission to send it to. I don't even know who's doing back cutting on, who's working on XL transmissions. I know there's a lot of guys working on the bagger transmissions, you know, the big twin stuff, but I'd have to make some phone calls and see. I guess seems like Simon Performance, is that the name of it? Simon's doing a lot of bagger stuff. Beeland is doing a lot of bagger stuff, transmission wise. There's several of them out there. I just don't know who will actually work on an XL or wants to work on an XL. I ended up actually going with a private fabricator up in Ohio to build my swing arm, because after several times discussing the build with DME here, that's 25 miles away from where I am, I don't think they really wanted to build it. I don't think they wanted to fool with it. So they had built them. I just don't think they wanted to mess with it. So I was having trouble with the back and forth there. So I ended up, my dog, I'm sorry. Charlie, that's enough. I ended up going with a guy in Ohio, and I'll be honest with you, I don't even know who he is. My friend Perry Paul uses this guy to fabricate his swing arm, so he went ahead and commissioned one for me and got it done. I'll be picking it up at Rockingham when Perry comes down for that AHDRA race. AHDRA. Charles, that's enough. Anyway, yeah, lots of things going on with that bike. Right now I'm just trying to focus on getting a rolling chassis done. I have a set of cases out there. I've got some heads, some cylinders. I can mock the bike up, get the right gears, sprockets, chain, so on and so forth, fabricated chain guard and stuff. It's shouldn't take me too long to get the chassis done. I would say probably sometime after Christmas I should have that thing rolling, and maybe not painted, but at least done and rolling, fabrication finished on it, hopefully. And then after Christmas, start focusing on engine parts. It's going to be I don't know, it's going to be, I'll probably have maybe $9,000 in that engine. I want to be competitive. I got to run what everybody else, all the fast guys are running. Even if I buy all that stuff that they're running, I still got to be able to ride as good as they do. And, I got to work hard at this, guys. This is one of those things you got to make a commitment and really, really work at it. So, this was just supposed to be a race update for Sunday. Sorry. Yeah, the Sportster's running great. It runs really well. It just keeps getting faster. So I kind of found what I wanted to know. I know I'll be able to run the 1150 index class with it down there at Rockingham, which is what the goal I had with this bike. I wanted to see it go 1150, so I could, I could do that with it, because I do enjoy that heads up pro tree stuff. So until next year, that's about all I'm going to get out of that. But over the winter, I'm going to, I guess I am going to stretch this one a little bit, not too much, but I have to modify the swing arm anyway to get that katana back wheel on this thing, which will shave yet even some more weight off of it. But I think that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching. If you got any questions or comments, leave them in the comments, man. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. Y'all have a good evening.